5 of the fantasy baseball season, and here's a few pitchers I look to pick up this week. And these guys definitely can help your roster out. The first guy, Josh Whitner of the Minnesota Twins. So Whitner, he's come out of nowhere this season here, and he's pitched some pretty good baseball on the year. Here's Whitner on the season: 22 in the third inning, 2-0 record, 12 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 walks, 20 Ks, 2 quality starts, a 1.61 ERA, and a 0.72 whip. So right here, he's going out there. He's pitching good baseball for this Minnesota Twin team. And this Twin team, they've been playing good baseball this season so far in the early going. And Whitner, like I mentioned, he's been added in 23% of fantasy leagues. And he's a guy attacking the zone. He's getting outs. And he's going in 6 innings right now, is the youngster here in the early going of the season. So right now, he's available in 77% of fantasy leagues. And his last 2 outings have definitely big ball games for him. April 24th versus Chicago, 4 innings in that one, no decision. 3 hits, a run, 2 Ks. May 1st at Tampa, 6 innings, got the win in that one. 2 hits, no runs, a walk, 7 Ks. And then May 6th versus Oakland, 6 innings, got the win, 3 hits, no runs, 8 Ks, and a quality start. So right now, the last 2 outings, 15 Ks for Whitner, no runs given up in 12 innings. And right now, they found the diamond in the rough here is the Minnesota Twins. And now with Paddock banged up and Sonny Gray still on the injured list here, he's definitely going to stay in the rotation, is Whitner. And he's the hottest pickup this week at the starting pitching position. Next guy is George Kirby of the Seattle Mariners. So the Mariners called up their top prospect Kirby on Saturday, and he pitched in yesterday's ball game, was Kirby, and he was impressive in his debut and one of the top prospects in all Major League Baseball. So in his first start for Kirby versus the Tampa Bay Rays, 6 innings, no decision in that one, 4 hits, 7 Ks, and the quality starts. So far to start the season here, no ERA and a 0.67 whip, and his next outing will be versus the New York Mets next weekend. And he's also a Queens native, so obviously a lot of hype with Kirby coming up. And this guy impressed for sure here versus the Tampa Bay Rays in his first career outing. So right now, he's still available, surprisingly, in 69% of fantasy leagues. And he went out there and pitched good. Matt Brash was in the rotation for this Mariners team, but obviously he struggled over the last few outings, and the Mariners thought it was time to call Kirby up. So right now, if you're in 10 and 12 team leagues, I would go out there right now and pick him up before it's too late, because he's got electric stuff. He's got tons of upside. And I know it was one start, but so far we saw what scouts have been seeing from him, and we saw his numbers were good in AAA. And hopefully it just keeps going here in the major leagues for Kirby. And Seattle's playing pretty good baseball as well, so he's a guy I'd definitely take a shot at this week. And he's got good upside. Next pitch is his teammate Chris Flexen of the Seattle Mariners. So last season was a great bounce-back season for Flexen with the Mariners, but so far this year, it's been an up-and-down type of season. On the season, 29 innings, 1-4 record, 24 hits, 10 earned runs, 9 walks, 17 Ks, but 3 quality starts. And the ERA still isn't bad, a 3.10 ERA and a 1.14 whip. So right here, Chris Flexen, he's just been a tough luck loser this season so far, 1-4, because like I mentioned, the ERA is respectable. He's going pretty deep into ball games. The last 3 out of 4 outings, he's gone 6 innings or deeper. And he's a guy we know that could pitch well when we saw it last season. So right now, he's available in this Flexen in 72% of fantasy leagues. So the last few outings for him, April 22nd versus the Royals, 7 innings, got the win, 6 hits, a run, 5 Ks, a quality start. April 28th at Tampa, 6 2/3 in that one, got the loss, tough luck loser like I mentioned with Flexen, 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks, a quality start. And then his latest outing, May 3rd, at Houston, a tough ball game, though. 5 innings, got the loss, but only 2 hits, only 1 run, 3 walks, 2 Ks. So he's giving quality innings. He's going pretty deep into games for the most part. And a guy for the back end of your rotation or player to use as a spot starter. I think Flexen's a decent ad this week, and it's surprising, like I mentioned, that he's out there in 72% of fantasy leagues. The next guy is Chad Kuhl of the Colorado Rockies. So Kuhl, I've mentioned him the last few weeks in a row here as a pickup, and he's surprisingly still out there in 48% of fantasy leagues. So I'm giving fantasy owners a heads up that it's going to be time to get him before it's too late now. So this possibly could be the last week, because if he goes out there and has another great outing, he's going to be scooped up in pretty much every league. So on the season here for Kuhl, 29 2/3, 3-0 record, 16 hits, 6 earned runs, 9 walks, 22 strikeouts, 4 quality starts, a 1.02 ERA, and an 0.84 whip. So I know many people probably think he's not going to keep it up. He never had great numbers in his career with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and obviously he pitches in Coors Field, which is obviously a hitter's park with that altitude, and it always will be. So the last few games here for Cool, April 30th versus the Reds, 7 1/3, got the win. 5 hits, 3 runs, 4 Ks, a quality start. And May 6 at Arizona, 6 innings, no decision in that one. 3 hits, a run, 2 walks, 5 Ks, and a quality start. So Cool's next outing, May 11th at the San Francisco Giants, which could be a hit-or-miss type of outing for him. But right now, he's going out there, he's pitching great baseball. Like I mentioned, the 4-0 record on the season. He's going deep into games. And I would just pick him up and ride it out until he goes back to form like he was in his Pittsburgh days, where he was just getting bombed left and right. But right now, he's one of the best pitchers in fantasy baseball. And we'll see if he can keep it up. But like I mentioned, available in 48% of fantasy leagues, and he's definitely worth an ad this week here, is Chad Kuhl. The next guy in Hazley of the St. Louis Cardinals. He's been added in 39% of fantasy leagues over the last week here, is Hesley. And he's going out there and he's throwing flames right now to start the season. 10 innings pitched, 1-0 record, 1 save, a hit, 20 strikeouts. So he's pretty much been unhittable. He hits 102, 103 miles per hour on the gun. And on the season, his whip's an 0.11 with no ERA, obviously. So in my opinion, he should be the closer over there in St. Louis. Gallegos, I know he's come on over the last couple seasons, but we saw him earlier this season blow a save versus the Mets, and another one as well early in the year. So in my opinion, Helsley should be the closer. He's got the stuff, he's got the heat, and he's pretty much unhittable right now. So he's a guy to keep an eye on, available in 54% of fantasy leagues. And if he's not the closer, he still has value in 12 and 14 team leagues. But if he's the closer, this guy could be a top flight reliever for the remainder of the season here. So go out there and get Hazley before it's too late, or before he's named the closer. If Gallegos blows a few more, the next guy's Austin Gumber, another Colorado Rocky on the list, and another pitcher I've mentioned over the last couple weeks as well on the season here for Gumber. 27 2/3, 2-2 record, 26 hits, 11 earned runs, 8 walks, 26 strikeouts, 3 quality starts, a 3.58 ERA, and a 1.23 whip. So right here, he's going out there pitching good baseball. And it's very hard for me to believe that he's available in 89% of fantasy leagues as Gumber. He goes out there and he gives his team a chance every game pretty much to win, except one early in the season. But the last 3 outings, he's been solid. April 23rd at Detroit, 6 innings, got the win. 4 hits, no runs, 8 Ks, a quality start. April 28th at Philly, 6 innings, got the loss. Tough luck in that one, though. 3 hits, only 2 runs, a walk, 6 Ks, a quality start. And May 4th versus the Nats, 6 2/3, got the win. 7 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and 6 Ks. So Gumber last season, he was the big piece in the Nolan Arenado deal here for the Rockies. And he's showing up last season, he pitched well. And so far this season, he's pitched well. So he should be owned in more fantasy leagues. I know the same thing with Cool. You don't know if it's going to last, especially pitching in Coors Field. But until the wheels fall off here, I would give Gumber a shot. And he definitely can help fantasy teams. The next guy's Chris Paddock of the Minnesota Twins. I know Paddock's banged up with elbow inflammation, and that's not a good thing, obviously. But right now, we'll see how long he's going to be out, but he's still a speculative ad because this guy, he's been pitching good baseball since he got traded right before the season from the Padres to the Minnesota Twins. So on the season here for Paddock, 22 innings pitched, 1-2 record, 5 hits, earned runs, 2 walks, strikeouts for Paddock, a 3.45 ERA, 1.13 whip. So right here, still solid. He got added in 13% of fantasy leagues. But right now, I would pump the brakes on Paddock just a bit because if he's obviously out with the elbow injury for an extended period of time, then obviously you don't go out there and get him. But if he's day-to-day or he'll only miss a start or 2, then I would still go out there and get him. He's got a lot of upside. He's got electric stuff. And he's shown it, like I mentioned, so far this season with the Twins. The last few games here for Paddock before he went down. April 26th versus Detroit, 5 2/3. No decision, 5 hits, a run, a walk, 6 Ks. May 2nd at Baltimore, 5 1/3, got the win. 4 hits, a run, a walk, 3 Ks. And May 8th versus Oakland, before he got pulled 2 1/3, he got hit around in that one, though. 5 hits, 3 runs, and 4 Ks. So right now, just keep an eye on him. He's day-to-day as of now before he goes under more tests. And we'll see what the deal is here with Paddock. But right now, he's a guy lower on the priority list of pitches to add this week, but definitely a guy that can help fantasy owners as long as he's healthy. The next guy is Rafael Montero of the Houston Astros. So Montero, he's bounced around over the last few seasons with the Mets, Rangers, Seattle Mariners, and now he's here with the Houston Astros. So right here on the season for Montero, 12 and a third, 1-0 record, 3 saves, 8 hits, a run, 3 walks, 17 strikeouts. So right now, looks like he's the closer until Presley comes back. And he's a good fill-in for now is Montero. Obviously a former top prospect with the New York Mets, coming up as a starting pitcher, but he never panned out as that. And right now, he's available in 83% of fantasy leagues. So if you need a guy that could carry you in saves for a few weeks, I help you out in that category, I think he's a good add is Montero until Presley comes back, because he's going out there, he's pitching good. His ERA is in 0.73 and the whip's in 0.89, so he's definitely going out there, putting up numbers, and he's pretty much been unhittable so far for this Astro team. So I would go out there and get Montero. And last season, he was on a good run as well, before obviously he hit the wall in the second half, because he was one of the better closers in the first half. And right now, filling in for Presley, he's been solid. The next guy, Dakota Hudson of the St. Louis Cardinals. I said, no, Hudson had a bad ball game in yesterday's game, but he's still a pitcher that's gone out there this season and pitched good baseball so far. On the season, 30 innings here for Hudson. 2 record, 25 hits, 12 earned runs, 15 walks, Ks, and 3 quality starts on the season here for Hudson. So Hudson, he was pitching good baseball until the last outing at the Giants here. April 28th versus Arizona. 6 innings, got the win in that one. A hit, no runs, 3 walks, 4 Ks. May 3rd at Kansas City, 6 innings, got the loss. 9 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks, a quality start. And then May 8th at the Giants, 4 2/3 in that one. 5 hits, 3 runs, 4 walks. So right now, I know it was a bad outing for Hudson. A 3.76 ERA and a 1.31 whip on the season here is Hudson. So he's still going out there. He's pitching decent baseball for the Cardinals. The Cardinals are a team that I think are definitely going to contend. And he's going to get this one out of the way, and he definitely could bounce back. So right now, Hudson's available in 74% of fantasy leagues, and I would give him an add this week. And the final pitcher I'd look to add this week's Joe Barlow of the Texas Rangers. So the Rangers here, looks like they found their close, and he's been added in 12% of fantasy leagues. 8 1/3, 1-0 record, 3 saves, 5 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 12 strikeouts, a 2.16 ERA, and an 0.72 whip here on the season for Barlow. So like I mentioned with Montero, if you need some saves here, Barlow's a decent option. I know the Rangers aren't the best of teams this season, but right now he looks like the main man in the closer role for the Rangers is Barlow. And he's a guy who go out there and get. He's going to get opportunities. He's got good stuff, and the Rangers believe in him. Last season he got some save chances, and now this season he looks like the man. So if you need closer help, he's a guy to get this week. So that's a few pitches I look to add here for Week 5 of the fantasy baseball season.